Look, I'm going to show you the simple and most realistic way to make 100K for your brand with influencer marketing alone. And importantly, we're going to keep the ROI at 3x, starting with a small example and then scaling it up. So we're actually going to do the math. And the reason you should listen to me is I run the Partner Up app. We help dozens of stores with their influencer marketing every week. That being said, I can't share the specific strategies a store is using, but I do see certain trends, certain things that the stores doing the best have in common. And that's what we're going to talk about here. So the first thing you need is that 3x ROI, and doing that with a smaller test group. And then once you have that, all you need to do is scale and scale and scale. There's really two approaches you can do that with. Approach number one, micro influencers, and then number two being larger influencers. Now let's compare those two groups. So of course the challenges with micro influencers are you need to contact a lot more people and you need to send out more in total products. But with larger influencers, they're going to expect a payment per post, which can totally kill your ROI. So let's do a quick example. Let's say you find 100 micro influencers with 20K followers each. That gives you 2 million total followers that you're targeting. On the other hand, you have 10 large influencers with 200K followers each. So you have the same 2 million followers in both groups. Now in the micro influencer group, you're going to do a post for a product exchange, and the large influencer group is going to expect products and a $500 payment per post. Let's assume you have a product that costs $20 you'll send out to the micro group. We have 100 there, so let's say that's 2K upfront investment. Now in the mega group, let's say they expect a bit more product. So $50 worth of products, that's 500. But factoring in they expect 500 each per post, that's an extra 5,000. So your upfront cost is going to be 5,500 versus the 2,000 you pay for micro influencers. Even though both groups have the same number of followers, 2 million, we've already made our ROI nearly 3 times lower in the large influencer group. Now in the micro influencer group, to get that 3x ROI, the average revenue you need per person is $60. If your AOV is $100, then you can afford for a lot of micro influencers to not even make sales at all, and you can still hit that 3x. So you need 0.6 average orders per influencer to hit 3x. Now, when you compare that to mega influencers, which are costing $550 each, with an AOV of $100, each large influencer needs to generate more than 16 orders. So even though we're targeting 2 million followers in both cases, our performance in the large influencer group needs to be at 2.5 times better. And unfortunately, if even one of those posts is a complete flop, well, you're kind of in trouble. Now, all this is before even considering the fact that large influencers, they tend to have more fake followers, more international audiences, and lower engagement. So if you are going to go that route, you need to be checking these things up front, because even one person flopping can be quite bad. We talk about this a lot on this channel, but what you need to understand is audience overlap. That is, of their total followers, 200K, how many match your target customer demographic? You have a female fitness influencer, but if you don't check the stats and see that 60% of her audience is male, only 30% is in the US, and 30% are fake, well then your total audience overlap is a lot lower than that 200K. In fact, it might be as low as 10%. And just compare that to if you got a micro influencer with 60% of the followers being your target customers, and you can just send a product, what implications that has on your potential sales. But to get this demographic audience data, you do need a tool like our app, Partner Up. We automatically pull it, and you can check before working with people. Okay, so we have our two approaches for getting 3x ROI. We had our 100 influencers. Of course, maybe 20 are going to be no sales. The top 10 are going to be well above that 3x ROI. But let's say on average, one order was generated per post at an AOV of $100. So we've actually outperformed our 3x and got a 5x. So we got 10,000 in revenue, and we basically need to scale up 10x, so onboard 1,000 micro influencers. Now, what this will require, especially if you're doing post per product only, is probably reaching out to around 5,000 people. Now, without a tool like our tool, Partner Up, this is pretty much impossible, because you're not exactly going to be able to find and DM 5,000 people. But we have this influencer search where you can put in your keywords that match your brand. You can filter out people with high fake followers up front and low engagement. And then you can save and reach out to people in bulk directly to their email. So when you're trying to scale this, you absolutely need something like this just to hit those numbers of onboarding, let's say 1,000 people. But in our app, you can easily invite 1,000 people pretty fast. The other thing I'll say about that 1,000 is remember those 10 outliers in the original group? Well, those people, you're going to want to work with them again. And if they keep producing those results, you can keep doing recurring posts with them, which is going to just blow up your revenue because really good influencers, they can have 8 to 10x ROI, which you're never really going to see with ads. You can get ROIs that are just insane versus more competitive marketing channels. At least in our app, there's 20 million people you can search across all the platforms. So if the ROI is still there, you can basically indefinitely scale it up, which is super exciting. And that's what we help people do. So anyway, thought this would be a useful video because not a lot of people think all the way through what goes into the influencer thing. They kind of just don't take it seriously. They send out a few products here and there, or they just work with the larger influencers and maybe they still get a good ROI, like 3 to 5x. But the insane ROIs, they will come from the micro people just because of the lower upfront investment. So if you can make it scale, you can just get pretty wild results. So anyway, hope this wasn't too technical. If you're actually interested in doing this, I suggest you book a call with us at Partner Up. You can start trying it, finding tons of people, and hopefully getting an insane ROI for your influencer efforts. And basically, if it doesn't work, we refund you everything. So it's really no risk for you. Anyway, hope you'll stick around if you like influencer marketing topics, and I'll see you in the next video.